Hey there, this is Pete
And this is Alex
from
Star Wars Minute.
As everyone knows, the best music throughout the galaxy can be found at the Mos Eisley Cantina.
But do you know where the second best music throughout the galaxy can be found?
Well, it's over at the Song a Week podcast, hosted by our pals, Michael Cassidy and Paul Rust, of the band Don't Stop or We'll Die.
Each week, their band debuts an all-new, fully produced song and adds it to their catalog of infectious, weirdo pop rock hits.
Make sure to also check out the Song a Week Patreon at patreon.com/don'tstoporwilldie for extra goodies like monthly bonus episodes, downloadable tracks, and more.
You can listen to all the fun wherever you listen to your podcasts on this planet and beyond, and groove out to a song a week from Don't Stop or We'll Die.
Or We'll Die. Hello, and welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
This is Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And this is the smooth soundings of Tim Barnes, comedian and writer and creator of a new web series you can view now on Comedy Central's animated YouTube channel, Maurice on Mars. Thank you for having me on the show. Let's talk politics.
Well, the politics of the maw. Yeah, well, welcome back, Tim. Good to have you back. Today we're going to be talking minute 92. The action continues on minute 92. It starts with the Falcon flying deep into the darkness, and it ends with Han jettisoning the escape pod. Jettisoning.
Jettisoning. It's a lot going on in that word.
It's always jettisoning in Philadelphia.
Jettisoning.
The last jettison.
But yeah, here's a cool thing that we haven't seen before is the kind of emergency lighting in the Falcon's cockpit. This red lighting. Yeah. There's a blue glow coming from the outside world, and then they've got the kind of red emergency lights on in there.
Yeah,
it's surprising given
to the red emergency light feature in
right.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. It is strikingly cool, that look.
I'm sure the bulb burnt out and Han just never replaced it.
Yeah, that system. Like, as things break, Han doesn't replace them very often, it seems.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say we were glad we finally get to see a giant tentacle monster.
Not yet. We'll get there. Well, speaking of Han fixing things that break, though, we do like they're trying to repair the lighting that's gone out, or the whatever systems are running that caused, when they failed, the emergency lights went on. They're trying to turn everything back on, and they're Han's just using straight up like needle nose pliers. It looks like, which I like that and don't like that at the same time. I don't know. I'm sure they've got a different, they're like, Dianoga nose pliers or something, like,
some other name for it.
Yeah. Well, I guess when it comes down to really simple tools like that, like a hammer, what would a space hammer? How would a space hammer be different than an Earth hammer? Like, it's basically a handle with a heavy thing at the end. Like, you can, I guess, it could shoot lasers out to put the things in or something.
We all have
space hammers playing Ozfest this year.
I mean, I think every Star Wars fan has something that throws him off like that. For me, it's when I see a couch in Star Wars.
A couch?
Just feels, in an apartment scene, in Padme's apartment, in, just seeing like basic kind of stuff. There's a deleted scene in Attack of the Clones where Anakin meets Padme's family. And I feel like there's like a kitchen scene with Padme and her mom, and that is weird. Just like, I don't know, just being in a kitchen in Star Wars. But we see a kitchen in A New Hope. It's part of the canon. We see Aunt Beru making some juice or something using the juicer.
Some fennel soup or something. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess kitchens would be the hardest to make look sci-fi, but not, like,
not over the top, like the Buck Rogers effect.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Is there anything like that for you, Alex? Anything?
Huh. Yeah, I can't. I mean, I guess it's more dialogue than it is physical things.
Mm.
But I guess I generally can't think of a time where I know people have pointed it out after the fact that, like, I guess in the Phantom Menace, there's like a
what about
a cross stick kind of toy in the as space. You remember those toys where it was like a handle with like a basket, and you throw the ball and you have to catch it.
You get it at the pharmacy before you go to the beach.
Yeah, I love those kind of beach, those kind of like that.
Pop into a Walgreens. Yeah. Well, what about how do you feel about Anakin's one friend that had braces?
Oh, wait. The friend who says wizard? Which friend had braces? Anakin?
Yeah, in that crew, there's the girl has the one who's just like shut up, Anakin, you're dumb, and she's got braces.
I like that, actually, because I think in Star Wars they've probably advanced tooth technology, whereas if you are sort of in the slums or a slave or something, braces are probably like the cheap kind of thing to do. It's not as expensive as it is for us in our society, but it feels like when you've got things like lightsabers and blasters that there's probably just like a button you can press or just a robot who can just fix them for you.
Right.
Has specialized hands to just like push your teeth in place. But
right. Yeah, it does seem pretty barbaric what if we just glued a little piece of metal to each of your teeth and then we'll have a wire kind of squeeze them together? Like if you describe that would just sound barbaric and torturous, but it's that's something we only do to slaves and poor people. Like, no, actually it's super expensive here. And
yeah, you know what? I was indifferent to the braces, and Tim convinced me to hate them.
Oh, right.
Well, because for precisely the logical reasons you're talking about. Like, it seems like in an age of everyone having robot hands and stuff, like teeth should be a fairly easy thing to fix. But then again, if this is like, a kid living in the middle of nowhere, possibly owned by another person, it doesn't seem like that person would get braces. So,
Yeah.
Well,
unless they're so cheap that it's the kind of thing where, like you could just go up to a gumball machine and put in your space credit and get it out, and she just does it herself, like that kind of a
It's
thing.
like the blood pressure monitor.
Yeah.
You just like stick your quarter in, stick your mouth in, and you get braces.
I'm proud of the explanation I gave, and I feel like it's a sign that I should be a part of the Star Wars story group, where it seems like that's all they do is come up with explanations for things.
Well, it'll have to be a trilogy explaining how braces work and all that stuff like that. So, or do a story specifically about her and explain why she has, maybe it's not braces, maybe she's a cyborg. Are braces in Wikipedia?
Oh, yeah. They are, I believe. I was just going to look up, but
yeah. Of course
I thought so.
Oh.
But there is, maybe she, Anakin was sold into slavery. Maybe so she was, poor enough that they had to get the cheap tooth fixing, which is the braces, and then their fortunes worsened and she was sold into slavery. Past that.
Also, she got the braces before she was
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When she was just struggling, and now she's got the.
So she's had them on for like 6 years. Her teeth are all like getting squashed together because they're
exactly.
Not, she should have had them off ages ago. Maybe that's her version of how Anakin had a bomb implanted in himself. Maybe that's somehow connected. That's what
that's
a mouth
like bomb.
Restraining
where's the
bolt
scene where they show that getting removed? I want to see that.
Oh, they never remove it.
Oh yeah.
Where they just deactivate it? Oh my goodness!
You mean now, braces or the bomb?
There's this. So I have never thought about this. So he's saying in this movie that they can't leave because there's some sort of explosive that'll make them go kaboom if they try and escape. But what was it removed after he won the pod race? Or this theory that Alex has brought up that it's still there, even as he's Darth Vader, there is this device that he has implanted.
That would have been a great payoff, though, for that gag. If Anakin's on the beach, I hate you. The bomb blows up for being around
and then just cut. The camera moves, and you see Watto there with a little controller, being like, "Ah,
Annie, little pieces of Annie."
Yeah. But update the braces article just mentions, hey, braces were known to be in use at least around the time of 32 BBY, during which the human Amy from Tatooine was known to have worn braces.
What an explanation. It's known to have been used around the specific time of this movie.
Wikipedia is definitely written by lawyers.
Historians use that as a way to date when the Phantom Menace took place. Oh, that girl's wearing braces. That must have been that time where it was popular for girls on Tatooine to get braces.
Behind the scenes appearance of braces in the Phantom Menace was a result of the fact that Katie Lucas was herself wearing braces at the time. So it's purely because...
Would anyone have noticed she was wearing braces if it had been pointed out?
Yeah, we all noticed.
I don't remember...
But what you're saying is that braces exist in Star Wars because of nepotism. Classic Hollywood situation.
Although there's also a non-canon appearance in Jedi Academy, The Phantom Bully. In her final year in the middle school portion of the Jedi Academy at the Jedi Temple in Coruscant, Guyana, not Guyana like the country, Guyana, Gaiana, one of the Jedi Padawan training at the school, returned from spring break wearing braces. And the bully teased her for it. None of the other students made an issue of it.
Wait a minute.
What? It's not canon. Don't.
Okay. I was going to say,
take it easy.
Jedi get spring break? What do they do on their spring break?
It's in Jedi Academy. It'll make you more upset if I tell you more about it.
I can't be any more upset.
I feel like we could talk about this the whole episode, but I'm trying to think of the only other thing, and it's a new thing. When I first saw the trailer for the Andor series, there is a shot where there are Imperial officers drinking from a giant cup. I don't know if this stood out to anyone else, but that threw me off as like a very just like casual thing I never thought I would see in my life, is an Imperial officer drinking from a big gulp.
Like a straw and everything, or just a...
It wasn't a straw. It was like a black cup, but it was like too big for it to be casual. It was like clearly an Imperial standard.
Yeah. Got it. That is, some things are too earthy.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know. Now I'm going to look for that next time I see the Andor thing. Or I'm not going to watch the trailer again, and then when we start watching Andor, I'll be like, this Tim's cup.
It's the cup. You're going to be that pointing meme of Leonardo.
Exactly. Hey, jump scare eyeball.
Jump scare eyeball.
Hey, jump scare eyeball.
I hear they're performing at the Hollywood Jazz Festival.
There you go.
Ska.
Yeah.
Jump ska. Yes, we finally see the giant tentacle monster. Better known possibly as the Summa Verminoth.
Yes.
It's a strange name for that creature.
Summa Verminoth. I think it's Summa Verminoth. If they had come 3 months later, it would be the Autumn Verminoth. But there's notes on this from John Kasdan, 52 Things You Didn't Know About Solo, a Star Wars Story.
What does he have to say?
So Summa Verminoth, the creature the Falcon encounters in the Maelstrom, had a long road to the screen. In the earliest drafts, the Kessel Run was interrupted with a forced pit stop on a spooky Ridley Scott-type planet. On that nameless planet, Beckett's crew encounters enormous Lovecraftian monsters that claim one of their number. So they would have lost a crew member to this monster. Lord Miller got
assuming
involved.
There would have been more crew members. There would have been some red shirts for them to be like,
This is where we would have lost Craven Koloff. What's his name? Corso. There you go.
Corso.
When Lord Miller got involved, they determined correctly that the pit stop would kill the momentum of the Kessel Run. So later, when working on the sequence with Ron Howard, the notion of a Lovecraftian monster returned, as we're both huge Lovecraft fans. Kathleen Kennedy would go into her office and Google images of frilled sharks and giant squids for reference. Wait, she loves that stuff.
This is true? This is
John Kasdan telling all this. It does seem like a
that's like an extra detail that feels.
Yeah. Kathleen Kennedy loves frilled sharks. I have to remember that in case we ever get a meeting, Alex. I'm going to wear my frilled shark shirt. One thing we stumbled across while working on this was a fantastic short film / teaser directed by Ruari Robinson called The Leviathan. You can find it on YouTube and Vimeo. It has been long rumored to be turned into a feature, and I sincerely hope it will be. And the name Suma Vermoth is another Cthulhu mythos homage to Robert Bloch's fictional tome, De Verimis Mysterious. So they wanted to work in it seems like they were like, oh, we'll stop on a planet and have crazy Lovecraft monsters. And then Lord and Miller came in and they were like, that would really kind of slow this down. Let's skip it. And they're like, all right, let's skip it. And then Lord and Miller got ejected and Ron Howard's on there like, how do you feel about Cthulhu? And he's like, oh, love it. And they're like, great, we got a monster for you.
Yeah,
Kathleen Kennedy
pitched it.
Googling sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't imagine her. I'm sure it was more that she just went to her phone and started Googling, but I imagine her running to her office, logging onto her desktop computer, Googling these images, printing them out, and running back with like, what about these? Which is a lot more fun.
And I'm also imagining, for some reason, her printing them out, like not saving the image and doing it, but like printing out the web page that the image is. So like it's like
the address and
it's like a grandma or something who printed out, like, or like somebody's mom, just like, here, look, and like it's the web page that has the picture of the shark on it.
Yeah, it's very strong anti-Kathleen Kennedy. That's not typical.
I love her, but I imagine this. This is what I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a weird one, but have we ever seen a printer in Star Wars?
We've barely seen paper.
Yeah.
I think the sacred texts, I think, were the first time we saw paper in
Wasn't there something where there was like paper coming off and somebody had to rip it? Was it that guy? Oh, was it in Rogue One?
Rogue One?
With the guy, ma'am, like running across the thing. Mom,
maybe.
Rather.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the Suma Vermoth, a big creature, as we can see, specifically, it is 7,432 meters tall, I guess. I don't know if they're doing that what dimension that is. That is
which way is
the equivalent of 4.6 miles for those of you who live in the America. And for those of you who live in the future, that is 255 USS Enterprises from the original series. So this is a gigantic creature. Which to me, I have a lot of
that's bigger than the town that I grew up in.
I'm fascinated by the biology of this creature.
Yeah,
like what does it eat?
Do you?
Yeah. Well, there are. I've been told that there are space whales and things like that in the Clone Wars animated series.
Yeah.
This brought up that question for me that people often say about the ships. Like, you wouldn't hear a TIE fighter in space, or there's no sound in space, but we're hearing some loud roars coming from this creature.
Yeah.
And floating through space.
Well, it seems like there is, at least in this instance, throughout the maelstrom, because we see kind of particles and stuff swirling around. So I'll allow that there's a medium for sound, although I think going even back further, it's just like, hey, who cares? This is the way it works in this part of the galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, when we saw the giant, saw the giant space slug making a roar too, and that there was no. So it seems kind of
that ship has sailed.
Yeah,
already written into the record.
We heard it sail.
But again, whales generally, except for the sperm whale, can we say sperm on the show?
Mm-hmm.
Except for the sperm whale, whales don't have like big, sharp, bitey kind of teeth. They have like strainy, you know what I mean? Whales just swim around and filter stuff out. So you'd think this creature would also might have a similar. I just have a hard time imagining something that it needs to bite onto.
Yeah, why does it?
There would have to be other gigantic space whales around, or whatever.
It could be. I mean, this is largely unexplored. Things don't. They just fly through their tunnel. Ships just go in and out through their tunnel. Who knows what's in the rest of this besides carbon bergs the size of planets?
But I would think that if this is not like this is the equivalent of like a gigantic creature right next to the road. It's not like it's like if there were multiples of these things, they would inevitably swim across the highways. You know what I mean? I would think the Empire would be like, we got to kill off all these giant. Maybe they have been doing that over time, and this is because seems to me if you want to have a trade route, you got to make sure there aren't 4.6 mile long creatures that might accidentally wander onto the road. I mean, this thing could swallow a Star Destroyer whole. You know what I mean? It's bonkers.
I'm sure many were accidentally destroyed when hyperspace was discovered, and you had these ships just like
just blowing right through them,
smacked up against the windshield of various. I guess we saw that in Last Jedi, right? Or no, that was in Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
We saw a space creature get. Pete, how do you feel about your famously anti-tentacle monster? How do you feel about it?
I am mostly okay with this one because it doesn't really move. It's fairly stationary. It's like here, it's like a monster that they encounter. It's not stuck in its thing, but it's sitting here kind of doing its thing with tentacles in it. It doesn't try to roll anywhere. It's not running. It's not doing anything. Those are usually my problems with tentacle monsters.
I wonder how it moves.
It just kind of sits there on the edge, kind of grabbing things as they fly towards it.
No, but like later on, we see it getting pulled into the thing, and it's clearly resisting and fighting. How? I wonder. Like it's resisting to the point where its skin gets pulled off of its skeleton.
Yeah.
So it must have something going on that is generating a, like a.
It must have like a midi-chlorian count.
Oh, there you go.
It must have
off the scales.
Cosmic thing. Do
you think it's using the Force to move?
I think
that would be
anything with this sort of space, and this is why I like it, because it's like Star Wars doesn't, at least at the live action movies, never get this sort of like weird, and even the imagery is like very new for Star Wars. And it's just like anything can go at at that point. It's like such extreme abstraction that like there has to. It's like with the Silver Surfer comics, where it's like just say it's cosmic. It's just cosmic energy. Like I don't know what this is.
There you go.
There's
Power cosmic. That's that's all it has.
Yeah.
Power cosmic.
Yeah.
This is the new Galactus.
Yeah.
When you said midichlorians for a second, I thought, what if this is a single kind of hypertrophied midichlorian? Like it's been out living in space long enough that it can just kept growing and growing.
Whoa.
And Suma Verminoth is just one giant midichlorian.
I love this idea. It's also a frightening view of what midichlorians look like on a microscopic level.
That's when Obi-Wan was examining that blood sample. That's what he saw. He saw a bunch of these.
I wish we saw a tiny little one.
Right, yeah.
I would love for the midichlorian discourse to return to Star Wars, because as I've gotten older, it doesn't bother me as much anymore. I'm kind of okay with it.
And with all the prequel nostalgia being around, I'm sure it's inevitable that it will return. If only to like say, you know what, we're reclaiming midichlorians for Jar. And Jar Jar will be the one who discovers the secrets of midichlorians and become the big hero.
Right. After his political career, he became a scientist.
Yes. Well, I promised some information about the Maw yesterday. We talked about it briefly. The Maw first appeared in 1994 in the Jedi Academy trilogy. The Maw was it was similar to this, except instead of the Kessel being there, it was a prison planet, and there was some rebel prisoner being held there that they had to break out of the Maw. So, did you have any more information about the Maw? This is all legends, of course. No longer true. Don't look for the prison. It's not there anymore.
I did read the one note that I think just like a year or two ago, there was a like an actual scientific paper cited the Maw as an example of, like, they had some theory about black holes or like gravity wells in space or something like that. And they said, just like at the Maw in Solo, a Star Wars story.
Wow.
And so that was, I think it's like noted that it's like the first time that like a major publication, scientific journal, cited a Star Wars thing.
If I was a teacher grading someone's thesis and they mentioned Han Solo, that was automatic F. And nothing against this movie specifically, any Star Wars movie. No, keep it out of there. It's hard to imagine Galileo bringing up a Star Wars movie in his, his scientific breakthroughs. But anyway.
My last note for this though is we have been kind of making notes of the sound mixing, how there are problems that we don't like it often, that it sounds like it's coming from nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And here's an example of a time I do like it, because it sounds completely natural. It could be on-set audio, because it was all filmed in the cockpit, very controlled environment. But when the ship turns and Beckett shouts, like, don't fly towards it, Han! Like, and it sounds totally like it, sound coming from the cockpit. Somebody pointed out in corroboration of our complaints. Somebody gave us a corroboration of our complaints. But they said that Lucas was worried about that from the get-go and would basically set up a speaker in the room to play back the ADR to the dialogue, the loop dialogue, and record it from a microphone coming out of the speaker, so it sounded like it was somewhere.
Wow.
Rather than just, putting it right to tape and mixing it wherever. It would just like play it in a speaker and record it.
Nice.
Which that's how you make movies.
That was the birth of Industrial Light and Magic, that moment.
There you go. It's like him with a boombox, like standing, like saying anything, but it's got like stormtrooper dialogue, and he's like, okay, now set up the mics over there.
Yeah.
That was all I had for 92.
Yeah, I guess that's about all I have.
Yeah, another great minute. Solid minute of solo content.
Mm-hmm.
Brought to you by,
the Maw.
Suma Verminov.
Come on down to the Maw this Christmas.
Did we already make the scenes from Maw or Maw Rats? These are the jokes to be made.
Oh,
here.
yeah. Grandma Tarkin.
Grandma. There you go. Don't tell Ma the babysitter's dead. That's all I got now. Now I'm spent.
Okay.
All right.
That's all I got as well.
Okay.
Same.
Oh, I'm driving this one.
Yes.
Well, Tim, can you come back tomorrow? We got more, and the action continues. We're moving on.
I didn't. It's been great. I mean, it's an interesting lifestyle, just staying in the same spot until the next day.
Yeah, it's
power up like Lobot to rejoin you.
Power up like Lobot.
I love the idea that like after the episode, you just close your eyes and nod your head down, and then when it's time to record tomorrow, I just be like boop 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 on my watch, and you wake up and you're just like, hey, let me tell you about Solo. If you listeners at home, don't forget, obviously, please check out Tim's web series available now, and it's called Maurice on Mars.
Maurice on Mars. Yeah, is it complicated? Some people say, like, don't hear it correctly. They go, Maurice O'Mars or Maurice...
Morris and Mars.
Yeah.
Maurice LaMarche.
Yes. There you go. Unique New York. That's when they're really...
But yes, it's on the Comedy Central site, you said?
Yes, on Comedy Central's... they have a special YouTube channel dedicated to animation called... Animated, but surely just like type in the words Maurice on Mars, it should pop up. It's a lot of fun. It's great. It's a cartoon. It's sci-fi. It's speculative, but it's really just it's just good fun and
Plus, if people get into it now, then later on when it becomes super famous, you can be like, it used to be. I loved it when it was like an indie thing, but then that guy sold out. Now he's got swimming pools.
But now there's just so much product placement.
It's just not the same.
There's a whole lot of Kraft Easy Mac cheese product placement in the cartoon.
Oh man, hey, if Kraft, I know, there's moral implications. I'm sure that company has done some things that we might not agree with. But if you send us lots of mac and cheese, might be willing to overlook that. So let us know. You can send us some mac and cheese. Hey, you can send us anything at Star Wars Minute, P.O. Box 20139. Greedo Square Station, New York, 10001. If you're gonna send mac and cheese, don't cook it first. Just send us the box. We'll cook it. And Twizzlers, always great because they don't need cooking. Oh, Tim, you're a Red Vines guy, if I recall correctly.
Vine, yes.
We had a whole episode called Red Vines. So.
Yeah, and I probably told you the whole story about me and the Red Vines. And,
there you go.
The Last Jedi. I'm sure
Seeing
I did.
The Last
right?
Jedi. Yeah.
Let's not bring it up again, okay?
No. I'm sorry I mentioned it. We will hopefully, despite my
lawsuit is still
gaffes,
pending.
Yeah, we can. Even though I screwed that up, we can still have Tim back tomorrow for a brand new episode of Star Wars
Minute.
Star Wars Minute.